Oh, hey, don't mind me. I am just grabbing a coffee before we get to work. One coffee, please. Thanks. Hello, friends. Welcome back to the channel, but if you're new, hi, hello. I'm Artsy from the Artsy Gamer. I make art, play games, and encourage others to do the same. A couple of weeks ago, I had talked about the argument that any villager can fit a theme. And so during a live stream, I made that pronouncement. He doesn't fit the aesthetic. If you give me 5 minutes, I will tell you why Barreled is a fairy core king. Give me 5 minutes and I will pick a villager, pick a theme, and I will argue how they fit that theme. And so people in the chat were giving me some really cool ideas. I had planned on turning it into a short, but it was mostly just like my face, and I couldn't really figure out how to make it engaging. And so I thought, why don't we turn it into a silly little series? So I will preface this by saying that I still stand by this argument that any villager can fit a theme. Ever since I finished my hard mode island, where I had no choice in the matter of inviting a villager to my island, whether it was a campsite villager or I only had 10 Nook Miles tickets to work with or an autofill situation, I have fallen in love with a lot of different villagers. Mainly, Hippo is one of them, which I know is kind of terrifying for a lot of people. And I want to encourage people to, instead of feeling like, oh, a villager on your island won't fit my theme, that I think it is very possible for us to broaden our horizons and really try giving villagers we never thought would work on an island theme or just our vibe a chance. So we had quite a few options from members of my channel. So friends, thank you so much. We had quite a few. We had Shari, a candy shop core, which I thought was really interesting. Rodney, kid core, Dobie kid core, Ribbot farm core. There was a couple of kangaroos, Harry for a pastel fairy core theme, which I thought was really interesting. But the one that really sat with me, and I wanted to kind of give myself like an easing in transition to this series, is Muffy with a pastel island. What I love about Muffy is that she is already kind of like a pastel girly, but with a gothic theme. People who typically have Muffy on their islands, it's usually around the fall. It's usually something gothic, something dark and stormy and mysterious. So I think it's going to be really cool to test the waters and see whether or not I can have a really true blue pastel vibe for our girl. So fun fact, I didn't realize that you could actually sort these by name or by animal or by order created. I thought that was really cool. I don't often visit the vacation homes that I have made in the past. So we're going to go to Muffy's previously made Happy Home Paradise theme. I did it, oh wow, I did this almost a year ago. Wow, that's wild. Okay. So as you can probably guess, I tried really hard to do a fall themed, something that was very simple, very dark, very typical for Muffy's vibe on various islands. But we're going to change this, if it's possible. We're going to change this out entirely into something of more of a spring. If I can swing a cherry blossom situation, I'll probably do that. But let's go talk to our girl and ask her if we can just redo her everything. My vacation home, it rocks. It was designed by a rock star. Thank you. After all, something on your mind? Let's talk about, oh, can I move? Moving. Don't necessarily feel like I need to move, but I'm not going to turn down a little adventure. Leave it all to me. All right. Oh, this is great. So we can actually move her to somewhere else. That's awesome. That would be cool. I hope that I didn't just completely mess this up. I've never done this mechanic before, so I cannot wait to try this out. Let me know in the comments if you've actually done this with your various Happy Home Paradise builds. I've actually had this hope for this this island save because this is my forever island, that maybe I can start decorating the Happy Home Paradise buildings to being like thematic for the season. You know, like, has anyone ever done that? Oh, I did have it in church. I already did that. You know what? No, let's do something. I love the cherry blossom season vibe here. I already had her there. Well, if I already had her there, do I need to move her back? You know what? Yeah, let's move her here. Select this one. Literally next door. It's not super intensive, so this is going to be fine. So for a pastel island, and also a huge shout out to Jackie who made the suggestion. Thank you so much, Jackie, for your incredible suggestions for these various animals and their themes. I think it's going to be super cool. Speaking of trust, I can't wait to see what you'll do to the inside. Thanks in advance. All right, friends, get ready for the speediest of speed builds that has ever speeded, whatever. But I will see you in a minute. Going into this build, I truly thought I had it in the bag from the get-go until I started looking at the items and their colorations. Most of what's available in pastel was more of a kidcore vibe than what I was wanting to work with, and even figuring out what I wanted Muffy to wear was a challenge. I didn't want to simply focus on pink, which is the easiest to do in this game when it comes to pastel colorations. I feel pretty silly for being so insecure around a family of colors, which pastels belong to a pale family with high value and low saturation. This means bright, very much in your face, and very much take the forefront of what the eye absorbs. But pastels also give off a softer, feminine vibe that I just don't feel like I give off in real life, which is probably why I shy away from Animal Crossing builds or island themes, or even other games that prioritize that pastel feeling. With Muffy, though, she's the perfect villager that adds that stabilizing contrast of black and white to pastel that leaves more opportunity to provide an expanding color palette to a pastel island filled with pinks and yellows and light blues. Because Nintendo has this delightful tendency of not really matching their color tones across furniture pieces, I was also hit with struggling to find actual pastel pieces without becoming too dependent on pink items. In designing a pastel island, or in this case a happy home build, it took a lot of tinkering to determine what a pastel island even means for me. When I think pastel, I think spring, and using the cherry blossoms added that pop of color naturally. But I tend to be a nature-oriented outdoor designer in Animal Crossing New Horizons, so I wanted to test the waters with items I don't frequently use, or specific color customizations. I tinkered with fencing until I eventually scrapped the idea and started leaning back to my natural roots with adding shrubs and log stakes. It wasn't until I added the peach trees, fully grown and stunted, until it hit me that I could incorporate complementary colors to the pastel palette to break up the pink, and discovered the wedding items, the cherry blossom items, and the cinema roll items would be perfect to use together. For lighting, I wanted to try my hand at using the crescent moon chairs and Nova lights to add more pastel colors to the forefront, but I acknowledged that they made the build busier and detracted from what I was originally going for. Maybe if I'd used the castle items in blue, it would have given more of a dreamlike elegance to it, but with the space I had available, I feel the build didn't really show what I had intended. Granted, Pastel Island can mean anything. You can incorporate pastel to any build to add a challenge to general themes like cottagecore, towncore, beachcore, whatever core. And I do think it came together at the end when I changed the time to early morning and added the hyacinth lamps with the glowing moss. However, despite my feeling not super sure of what the vibe was, Muffy absolutely fit in. Her presence didn't detract from the soft color palette in the slightest, and I was even thinking that a pastel island that had her, Chai, and the KK Bubblegum sisters would have been such a hoot to see come together. So we paused this regularly scheduled recording to bring you the fact that if you move a villager, you literally move their interior. That's so interesting. Well, Bestie, we're about to completely change out this entire thing, and also maybe perhaps make it a little bit smaller. So, yeah, get ready. For this challenge, I will say the interior was significantly easier for me to get a handle on. It took a bit of tinkering with the wallpaper before I settled on the cherry blossom trees wall, and then had this aha moment with the white European style wall. I went back to Muffy's previously elegant, albeit dark interior and realized I could have a similar vibe, but softer and brighter. From there, it was just giving our girl the extravagance she rightly deserves, but then I was hit with the opposite problem from the exterior build: not enough pinks. Though the elegant furniture in blue is slightly more muted than pastel, I felt it softened the space in the same way the outdoor furniture had, and it still matched Muffy to some capacity. To be honest, in looking back to her original build with its super dark and earthy tones, this interior fits her so much better in my opinion because it allows for her to take up space and be the main focus. The overall interior aspect of this build is not mind-blowing. It's literally a bedroom with a bed, a dresser, a desk, some personal touches. But the purpose of this series isn't to create something so complicated that you'd think twice of having Muffy on a pastel island. If anything, she's a spring queen for a natural or elegant island filled with whimsical spaces in soft blues, pinks, and yellows. But yeah, I think I did pretty good for a Muffy Pastel Island challenge. So friends, if this is a series that you are interested in seeing unfold, let me know in the comments which villager and which theme you don't think can come together in a beautiful way. And I want to absolutely 100% prove you wrong. If you haven't liked the video, please be sure to give it a nice big thumbs up. And for you pastel majesties out there, give Muffy a chance, because look at that girl hiding behind the cherry blossom branch item thing. Like, you cannot tell me she does not fit your island. I want you to do the hard thing and give this girl a chance. So thank you again for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your whatever happy time zones wherever you are. Make art, play games, and encourage others to do the same, and I'll catch you next time. Bye!